ministry of the Christian church. And those 5 different folds, if you wish, are teaching, pastor, evangelist, prophet, and apostle. Got them all, did you? I'll bet you did. That's a good word. And last Sunday I spoke on teacher, namely from Timothy, to show yourself approved. Study the scripture. And the Sunday before that I spoke on evangelism, and in particular the Apostle Paul, who's my favorite. And the Sunday before that I spoke on prophecy, a subject that is very perhaps scary to some people because God is so immanent in it. And furthermore, prophets are hated, they are detested. Remember, in the New Testament they said, I sent you the prophets, but you killed them. This is Jesus Christ speaking. And that's because prophets don't bring good news. They bring bad news. And in a way, that is one reason why I'm here today. I felt God telling me that the city of New York is going to suffer an atomic attack. And not just one, it may be 3 explosions. And it's a horrible thing, but somehow tied in with that, there was the message that I should come here for this week, and I do not know the connection. It seems that God takes us one step at a time.
Amen.
And you know, sometimes you may not know what that step is until just before your foot hits the ground. And then you find out, and then you have that feeling, that satisfaction, that feeling, yes, this is God's way. And you know, God has a path for each and every person. I don't believe that you came into the world for nothing.
Amen.
For no reason? No, not in my idea. An example from my own life. I was only a little boy, about 4 years old. And some adults came up to me and they said, what are you going to do when you grow up? It's a common question, isn't it? Everybody asks that. And I said, I don't know. And then I opened my mouth and the words that came out, I don't know where they're from. I said, I'm going to that school that is after school. I didn't even know the word university. But for some strange reason, those words were the ones that came out. And then there came this feeling like a cloud of destiny that I was going to make a trip overseas around the world. And by that time I had come to the position where I was just going to agree with God. I'd also talked 2 other boys into going with me. But each of them, one by one, chickened out. However, I was able to go. The first foreign country I visited was the United States of America. And boy, was that an experience. I'd answered an ad in the newspaper saying, share of gas on trip to San Francisco. I thought, great. So I was one of 6 people in that car. We got to the Canadian border, and the Canadian officer said, where are you going? And each of the 6 of us gave 6 different answers. And the officer looked at us. And then he said, when are you coming back? And we gave 6 different answers. And he really looked strange at us. And then he said, what is the purpose of your trip? And we gave him 6 different answers. And he says, you better all come into the office and fill out the long forms. And so we did. And eventually we got through, and I got to San Francisco, and it's strange how God works. On the ship, the USS President Cleveland, going from San Francisco to Hong Kong, I played in a shuffleboard game, actually the finals of their contest, against an officer from Thailand. He was the head of their Air Force. He was the 4th highest ranking man in the country. There's the king, the prime minister, and then the head of defense. And then he was the head of the Air Force at Krum Thep, Bangkok, I guess is the English name for it. And he beat me, and I'm glad he did. We became good friends afterwards, and he invited me to his place whenever I got to Krum Thep. And believe it or not, about 2 months later I did, and phoned him up. And his house was right off the airport. He was right close to it. And he said, this is a miracle that you come to Krum Thep at this time, because the entire town is full. There's no place in any hotel. And he knew because his wife owned 7 of the hotels in Thailand, in Bangkok. But he invited me to stay at his home. And boy, was that a pleasure. But the main thing is, God has a strange way of answering your questions, your needs, even before you know them. And I give credit to God. I think God has a purpose in each life, in your life, in my life, and it is for us to walk that pathway, to find it, and to be in tune with God and His plans for your life. Amen.
Amen. Amen.